everybody. I'm just about to head out to Wisconsin. I was at Madsen's the other day. I was buying a stand for my for a Symington chain grinder, and I met this dude named Josie at Madsen's, and I talked to him for a couple minutes, and he was like, "Hey, I run this really old mill out in Olympia, Washington. You should come and check it out." I took one look at this tall, dirty, hairy man, and I was like, that guy's the real deal. That guy knows what he's talking about. So I was like, you know, I'm leaving Sunday. I can come by Friday. And so I'm here, and I just wanted to show you this mill. It's super cool. You'll see, it's really old. It's really cool. And we're in Olympia. It's called Skillman Brothers. It's a really old sawmill. And it's a really interesting story historically. It's kind of, you know, the last of its kind. So I'll show you, we'll talk about how it was used in the past. We're gonna mill up some boards. And I think it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, check this thing out. You guys remember Kevin from Eastside? He's not working today. I asked him to come by, so he's helping me out. What's that?
It's the lignum vitam.
What?
It's what they originally, when they had submarines first come out in this world, they made the bearings out of, because it's self-oiling, doesn't burn, won't light on fire. It's with the bearings for the main prop coming out of submarines back in the day.
What's it made out of?
It's a lignum vitam. It's the wood from South America.
Oh, that's what the wood, really?
Yeah, that's what we have for the guides on our circular saw. It's what is mounted in there to keep it.
Crazy.
Just little slivers. Yeah, we have to bring it
so
to
dense.
a machine shop, a metal shop, to have them spin it out on their lathe.
Really?
Yeah, it's so hard.
So you use these on submarines?
Submarines. Yep.
Wow.
Self-oiling. They won't light on fire. It's pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
What are you doing there, Josie?
Just sharpening some of these teeth here, getting it good to go. We were just talking about that, actually. I prefer the big bastard file.
Yeah.
Just sitting over here on the short belt and rocking it out like that. In fact, do you mind looking around on the table and clutter over there and seeing if you could find a bastard file, a nice size, one that's not all rusted up?
All right, so this is Josie. Josie, what's your last name?
Mondone.
Mondone?
Yep.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So I met Josie a couple days ago for like 2 minutes in Madsen's, and he was telling me about this place. I had to check it out. So do you want to just maybe tell your story a little bit, how you found this place? What is this place?
I've lived out here on Steamboat Island the entire time I've lived in Washington State. And, God, it was 12 years or so, just driving back and forth down the road, Steamboat Island, and I'd always wondered what was going on back here. Looking down the dirt, the gravel road, seeing, you know, just wondering to myself, like, what do they do back there? What's going on, you know? Never introduced, never met them, nothing. And one day I came back here to get some sawdust for my chicken coop in my outhouse, and there's a father and son sitting out here running the resaw. They asked me if I'm looking for any work, and I said, yeah, I'm looking for some work. And here we are, Bob, what, almost 10 years later?
Yeah.
About 10 years later, here we are. Just haven't left and still working, so.
That's cool. So you're just getting the blade sharp right now. We're
Yep.
gonna make some cants in a minute.
Yep, we're gonna cut some cants, some cedar. 1x6 is gonna be the finished product. True 1x6, 12
Cool.
feet long.
That's awesome, man. Well, while you're doing that, I'll probably go interview Bob a little bit.
Sure, sure.
All right, Bob, you want to just tell us a bit about this place? Where are we? What are we looking at? What's your guys' story?
Yeah, well, I'm Bob Skillman, and my dad and his brothers started out right after World War II with a wood business, and then it slowly evolved to the logging combination sawmilling. And this sawmill was portable, and we could package it all up in about a half a day and be headed down the road with a big caravan, and we cut cants.
What year is this?
Well, they started in the late 40s, but I worked ever since I was a little kid. I worked every weekend and summer working in the woods or on the mill. So this, when I did this, would have been in the 60s, and when I first started, we'd cut cants, basically square the log up so that the cant could go into either Tacoma or Olympia or sometimes Chehalis to the resaw mills, where they cut the cants, the squared up log, into dimensional lumber with a bandsaw resaw. The bandsaw was used because it didn't take so much kerf as a circular saw. Less of it went out to sawdust and more of it stayed with the board. We did that because there wasn't any need in those days for bark, and also the slabs we cut, there was no need for them. Well, eventually into the early 70s we started realizing that the bark could be utilized for beauty bark and hog fuel and things, and then they developed chipper mills that actually, rather than sawed the log into squared up cants, it chipped it, and then those chips, they didn't have any bark on them. The bark had already gone to its use, and the chips then went into pulp, and that fir hemlock pulp usually went into your darker papers, well, your fir did, into your cardboards and stuff. And that slowly developed. Well, then in the 70s, foreign buyers started buying, the Japanese especially started buying logs, and eventually that just made the milling in the woods not profitable, and so we brought the mill in here, and my father, who's going to be 97, he's up at the house now, he played around and did a little custom cutting and built things that you've seen, like the slab cutter and the wood processing situation with the conveyor belt, and worked on the mill. And we changed the mill over from diesel powered to electric powered, and we have a big 200 horse electric driving the thing with all the compressors and generators and everything tied into it. And so anyway, now it's kind of something just to keep alive, and I enjoy the mill. There's not many around anymore. There's quite a few of the little mills, but you know, they're pretty limited, and so we get quite a bit of inquiry as to what we can cut here, and we're kind of picky about what we take on, just because we can, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, we're gonna mill up some cans. You can see, so Kevin's over there talking to Bob, and you can see this was actually a trailer. It was a huge trailer, and they used to roll through the woods with this, milling cants and slabs, and they would tow this in the woods, and they'd build logging roads, just milling the trees as they went. They would build roads with this thing. And so then, yeah, I think you said they parked it in the 70s, but this is a trailer. This huge thing is a trailer, and then that was added later because the machinery in the woods could always load this up, so they've got that on here now, which loads up the logs. But it's just amazing. This thing is just huge. And I'll probably have Josie tell you about the engine, actually. I want to show you the engine.
Fire in the hole. We're going to fire this thing up here. All right.
I guess this engine is a 1928, so 96-year-old motor running this mill.
See it spraying the mist now. Here's the direct drive off of that 1928 Westinghouse motor. Just a drive line, U-joints like you'd have on a truck, you know. 6x12 here. This is side cut, which means I have to bring it back around to the feed chain to be cut again on the circular saw before we can bring it over to the resaw. So we just ran these cants down the green chain, just cut these logs up, and now we're heading over to the resaw, make some 1x6. Real 1x6, none of that Home Depot garbage. Go. Good boy, Cosimo. Oh, that thing was tight. You hear that chirp? The old chirp of rust. Okay, so, you know, we're just going for an approximate 6 inches. This is just the guide to keep the band in line, you know, up against the fence here. So I can rock a tack down to about 8 inches to give us a couple inches of play. This back table, the catching table, it doesn't adjust. So anything over an inch, you have to move this table out and catch by hand and then pivot over for the return onto this feed belt, the return belt. This machine's seen a lot of boards run through it, millions of board feet worth of cans cutting through. So what I've done is I've plumbed into those 2 fire towers over there full of water, and I've extended the hydraulic set up, the hoses, and I've coiled it into a 5-gallon bucket, and I've got cold water running through this old fire hose down into this 5-gallon bucket with a coil of extra hydraulic hose to keep the hydraulic motor cool. Here we go, it could get loud. speed up on the conveyor a little. There's a cedar, it's forgiving, it's soft. See how much faster it's going? Coming out of there? It's still cutting straight, so it's good.
So they're over there making those boards. I just want to show you this real quick. So Bob Sr. made this years ago. This thing, it's not running right now, but this is kind of cool. He built this himself. They put all the scrap pieces of wood here. It drops into this trough right here. It goes down the conveyor belt. That ram pinches the pieces, and then that circular saw cuts them back and forth. And then there's a trap door that falls down, and 16-inch pieces of firewood run off that conveyor belt. So it's not working right now, but I just thought it's so cool that the guy just built this himself. You know, people don't do that anymore. People just buy things now, but you know, back in the day, you know, years and years ago, they would just build this stuff. If they needed something to do a certain thing, they would just build it. And I just think that it's so amazing, such a testament to some, you know, logger ingenuity. You know, all this stuff. He built all these structures, all these, you know, all these mills. I mean, it's just, it's really amazing, you know, little piece of history, and it's cool to, you know, capture it. It's, you know, they're sort of selling things off, and they're all retired, and you know, this mill's not going to be here forever, and so it's really cool to capture some of this stuff. I mean, they make everything. Look at look at Josie's. Look at this PB he made out of an oak limb. It's just so cool. I'm just really glad that I met that dude at Madsen's and that he invited me out here. It's a really special place.
That's pretty good. Yep.
Nice. Regular banjo.
That goes in the bottom slot right there. Just like that. Cool. We're back in action.
Thanks for showing us your place, Bob.
Do what?
I said thanks for showing us your place.
I didn't show you.
Well, thanks for having us out here to see your place. I was just wondering if you could tell us about, you know, about this place when you built it, when you started working on trees. Would you mind kind of telling us your story?
Tell you this, I'll be 97 in September. And this getting old, you lose a lot of the intelligence that you did have. I'm just not what I used to be.
Can you remember things pretty well?
No.
No.
Come
up, we'll see where I can see it.
It's a harmonica. Your harp there. Would you play us a tune? He's pretty good at the harmonica. He
Yeah?
can remember the chords and yeah. I think, where do you have one, Bob? Right in here somewhere?
Yeah.
There we go. Here, let's open this thing up for you. Worth every last minute.
Yeah.
Right here, I tell you what. Yep. He knows how to play a harp. There you go, Bob. For the dog. One for the dog. Cosmo loves it when you play it. We all do.
Particular song you want to hear?
Just everyone you know.
I don't know, maybe something will come to me.
I tear up. That's the way I came with it. Woo! Yes, sir. Nice one, Bob. Thank you.
But hey, man, thanks for having us out here.
Great to have you guys. Come on back anytime. Maybe we can do a round two or something.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Lots of logs, so.
So, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Hey,
Yeah,
take care.
See ya. But yeah, we're just taking off. It was really cool. It's cool to be a part of that. Try to tell the story of, you know, this mill that has just ran tons and tons of board feet through it. So it was cool. Just kind of one of those crazy things. I just met Josie, and, you know, a few days later we're here, and, you know, it was cool that Kevin had the day off. He was able to come out and help me make this. And so yeah, it's just cool. I hope you like that, you know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later.